Welcome back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. This is episode 103. Joined with Connor Carsons, Isaac Stonemeyer, Nick Gwynn on the call. How we doing?
I'm exhausted. Long day of classes today. I'm ready to just decompress, talk some football.
NBA also on tonight.
Yeah. We were discussing the bets beforehand.
Got some locks tonight, Start out the season. I was going to wear my Tatum jersey, but then I was like, I'll just wear it on Thursday. When we can do that. When we do the actual NBA pod.
Yeah.
That would make more sense.
But wrapping up week 7, gotta jump into our updated power rankings for the pod. Updated for sure. Had a lot of movement. Big upset weekend for a lot of teams as well.
Yeah.
One
in between.
Yeah.
Who's at your guys' 11? Who's on the fringe, the first team out?
My honorable mention or number 11, that'd be the Seattle Seahawks there. A decent. The Cardinals they're a tough win. They'd be the Cowboys. I remember. So
mine is also Seahawks.
They've held it close with every.
They're frisky.
Every team.
So Seahawks beating them. I like that win. So they're at my 11.
Mine's the Seahawks or the Browns.
Yeah, mine. I have the Browns at mine.
Yeah.
But Seahawks can be at 12. But at my 10.
Guino, who'd you got?
Oh,
I got the Bengals at 11.
Oh,
ooh.
I'm not mad at that.
No, not at all.
So let's go over last week's rankings.
Okay.
So at 10 we had the Ravens, 9 Jags, Bengals 8, Cowboys 7, Bills 6, Lions 5, Eagles 4, Chiefs 3, Dolphins 2, Niners 1.
So we got some teams taking some drops, and then we got one specific team taking a pretty big jump.
Yeah, those Ravens.
So at
10, I have the Bengals.
I have the Buffalo Bills. I think that loss against the Patriots is a huge loss.
And they also just haven't looked good, since they beat the Dolphins.
I have them at 9, so I'm cool with wherever we want to put them.
I have the Bills at 10.
Okay.
I also have the Bills at 10.
All right.
Hey,
so we can just put the Bills at 10.
That's what I like, fellas.
The Bills are going at 10.
Who'd y'all have at 9?
The Bills.
Yeah, I had the Bengals at 9.
Yep.
I had the Seahawks at 9.
I have Bengals at 9.
Yep.
So Bengals moved to 9. 8.
I got the Lions.
I also have the Lions at 8.
Same here. Yeah, Lions.
I got the Cowboys.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
Nah, that's a little low, man.
Really?
Really? Explain.
It's not crazy. But
Coming off a
I
win?
just think we would lose to every single one of these teams above them.
Job's not finished. I respect it.
All right. Dak looked good, though.
He looks spry out there.
He and you
spry.
guys gonna be coming off a
Now,
bye.
next week when we come on here and we say, wow, Dak looked like shit, am I going to be surprised?
You guys coming off a bye, going to play the Rams? I mean...
Hey, Aaron Donald, he's
Dude,
a
that's
game
just
wrecker.
a game that he's going to throw 3 interceptions.
Be a good game. So, what, we got 7?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had the Cowboys at 7.
I have the Jags.
I also had the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 7.
I had the Lions at 7.
Okay.
So
don't hate
Jags at 7.
Yeah, that works. They've looked pretty good. Strung together a few wins. They might win that division.
They
That's fine, so I
should
got
win
the
that
Jags at
division.
6.
I don't know. It's the Jaguars.
The Titans are... So they said... The Titans came out and said that if Ryan Tannehill can't play, they're going to split snaps between Malik and Levis.
Oh.
So they'll probably be one guy will come in one drive, the other guy will come in.
Just let Will Levis play. See what he's made of.
I don't hate Malik Willis. I don't know why they drafted Will Levis if they had Malik Willis. Unless they're just trying to move him.
I mean, Will Levis has a higher ceiling.
But with Anthony Richardson getting hurt, that killed the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Because they actually had a real chance of winning the division. Mm-hmm. Which I'm not saying that they still don't.
Gardner's the best person that can step into that role.
Gardner is playing really good, so they're probably just going to roll with him for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I've always liked Gardner. He's been.
I liked him when he was in the Jags, and he was
good for Philly too.
Yes, he was. Out of Washington State, baby. Who do they got next week, and what's their record? Are they 3-4?
Who?
The Colts.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, they're 3-4, and they got the Saints next week. That's a winnable game
So
in Indianapolis.
Back to 500, possibly, because they probably should have beat the Browns
They're
this
not
weekend.
winning that game.
The Colts got hosed. The
Colts should have won.
They should have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 really bad calls at the end of that game.
I know the Titans aren't on any of our lists, and for good reason.
Fuck no.
But does that make Tannehill available for trade to a team like the Jets, who could maybe use some veteran leadership?
I don't know.
I'm
not trading anything for Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah,
No?
I don't know if
Not even a late pick.
I would just roll with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, the upgrade from Zach Wilson to Tannehill isn't anything that really moves the needle any more than
Zach Wilson hasn't looked absolute shit
I
these
think
past
he's
couple
gotten
weeks.
better week
Yeah.
to week.
Oh, he's getting better every week. I mean, it's that defense keeps him in games and everything. So it's like that conversation we had last night, like with the Aaron Rodgers rhetoric coming up. But I don't want to get into that. That'll just start pissing me off. But yeah,
All right,
Titans play the Falcons next week in Tennessee. Luckily for them. So I
Because
mean,
the trade deadline's next.
they could easily beat the
That's, yeah,
Falcons.
that's what I mean. The trade
But
deadline's
big-
coming, so they have to make
Big
a
game
decision
for the
here.
Falcons. Falcons need to win this game to
Yeah.
go 5-3 and kind of take a little lock on the division. Because if the Saints get blown out by the Colts
And the Bucks play the Bills.
and the Bucks play the Bills on Thursday night, there's your fucking. Those are the two teams that are on your tail.
Yeah.
Like you have to win this game next week.
Who did you guys have at 6?
Cowboys.
Yeah, that's where I had the Cowboys.
That's where I had the Cowboys. Nick, who
I
did
have
you
the
have
Jags at 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Valid. We're all like
We're all
on the
kinda-
same wavelength here
It's
today. yeah.
easy because it's just all the same teams. It's like no one's taking like a crazy jump down.
No, midpoint of the season.
Who do you guys have at 5?
Ravens.
Yep. Also have the Ravens.
I also have the Ravens.
They look good.
Ravens. They looked really good.
Over the Lions.
I think Ravens could be argued. I have them at 5, but I was sitting there, I was like, I could argue.
I could argue them over the Dolphins
Yes,
right
that's what I was
now.
gonna say.
I honestly wouldn't mind putting them over the Dolphins
I don't know.
if you guys wanted to,
I think the Dolphins. I give them the edge over the Ravens right now.
because the Ravens looked good, man. Like I was trying to tell you guys, like these teams, like they look bad, but then when they get back home and play the Lions, they have to play finally a good team, just get walked over.
Yeah.
Like the Ravens are finally starting to find their stride. Like Nelson Aguilar teeing up.
And it's not like
Turn
they've
it up.
been, it's not like that like the Ravens have been like losing a bunch of games.
No,
like
Lamar's playing
they're just
shit.
having ugly wins.
Lamar just been playing like shit. Like I don't know how to put it. Like these couple of the games that they're losing, he's playing really bad. So he come out and put up like 4 touchdowns and 300 yards
Easy. Like
against the Lions defense,
easily
which
did
is
it.
also good. So, and they were up 28-0 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think them at 5 is probably perfect.
So are we going Dolphins at 4 then?
I would go Dolphins 4, and then 49ers, Eagles, Chiefs. I think that's a unanimous.
Wow. 3 49ers, 2 Eagles, 1 Chiefs.
Yeah,
That's the same.
I think that's pretty unanimous.
Yeah. 49ers back-to-back losses.
I think if you're trying to put the 49ers over the Eagles, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And then I think if you're trying to put the Eagles at 1, you just hate the Chiefs.
Yeah. The Chiefs, they've started to become a bit more consistent.
If the Eagles didn't lose to the Jets, I think you could argue.
Well, they'd be
it.
undefeated.
Yeah.
It'd
They'd be
it'd
undefeated.
a no-brainer.
So if they were undefeated, yeah, I think I'd put them at 1. But the Eagles got some ugly wins under their belts. The Chiefs are their wins are getting kind of more dominant as we go.
Mm-hmm.
They play Denver again this week. So I know Denver plays them hard, but it's like pretty sure it's
So they're gonna be in Denver, right?
yeah, they're in Denver. So Denver. Denver.
Beard guy, who'd you have?
Are we going on?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, the same as you guys.
Yeah.
Eagles, Niners 3, Eagles 2, Chiefs 1.
I think that's unanimous.
Yeah.
I think looking at just our list now, the only team I can see like after next week taking a big drop out of the top 5 is if the Niners lose next week.
If the
That'll be
Niners-
3 straight, and we'll have some crazy conversations if they would drop 3 straight.
The Niners would have to be like, man, yeah. If they lose, they're fucked.
And I think it's gonna be a good game because you got the Bengals coming off of a bye.
Should
Joe
be a
Burrow's
good
getting
game.
healthier, and then you got the Niners team who's banged up. You don't know if Debo probably won't play.
It's in the afternoon.
You didn't have Trent Williams already. You already had a tough ass game on a short week against a team coming off of a bye who is just getting healthier. So I mean, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, losing Trent Williams, clearly, had a huge impact on
Yeah.
the Niners.
And you don't want, if you're the Niners, you don't want to get into a position where you kind of not give the reins to the Seahawks, but keep giving the Seahawks a chance in the division.
Yeah.
Because the Seahawks are a good enough team to where, like, they're going to take care of the games they're supposed to win. It's just like, because you got to play them, you got a tough stretch where you got to play them, the Eagles, and then the Seahawks again in 3 straight games.
Those Seahawks games are gonna be so good.
So it's going to be tough. The Niners are a tough little spot. I could easily, they're back at home. So they can easily take care of the Bengals, but they're banged up, and a team coming off a bye can be dangerous.
And another team that could drop is maybe the Dolphins if they don't get their shit together because luckily they play y'all next week.
The Patriots?
Yeah,
I don't
So-
know. The Patriots just beat the Bills.
it is in Miami though.
This isn't Tom Brady. This is Mac Jones.
This is
Miami Mac.
We're gonna see what Tua we get or what Dolphins we get because they could come out at home and just fucking rail you guys.
Probably.
Or
that's probably
you guys could just be in the game the whole time and then they just win. I don't see you guys winning.
I think Dolphins have a bounce back.
I think they should. And if they don't, then the Patriots are in the power rankings.
No, not the top 10.
No, they're not.
Another team that
be funny though.
Kind of isn't like getting in like their power rankings, but honestly, like the Steelers they're just winning games. They're just winning games.
I refuse.
I refuse to put the Steelers in my top 10.
Like their last 2 wins are against the Ravens, who are top 5, and then the Rams, who are all in that kind of fringe spot.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Those rivalry games though, they play each other so well, it almost neutralizes like how they actually are.
If they beat the Jags next week, they have to be in the top 10.
They play the Jags.
That would be out of their last 3 wins. If they beat the Jags, that would be 2 teams in our top 10.
If they did, yes, I would.
If they beat the Jags, I would put them in there. I'll give them their flowers because they'll be 6-3.
Yeah,
I gotta give them credit.
5 and
3.
5 and 3.
Yeah,
and even then, I mean, they could
maybe still tied with the.
So yeah, the Steelers. I mean, they're a well-rounded team. T.J. Watt, you could say, is the best defensive player in the league, or he's at least one of the top 3. Kenny Pickett's getting better week by week.
Fuck him.
You know, I wish we had our resident Steelers expert here to talk more about him, but they look good.
Fuck the Steelers, man. Like,
you'll never admit it.
Come on.
No, I won't. Zach Wilson better than Kenny Pickett.
How do they just keep winning?
I don't understand. It's stupid. Like it's like teams forget how to play football when they play Steelers.
I mean,
and their offense is not good. That Steelers offense is not good.
I would take Kenny Pickett over like a lot of guys. You could argue he's like the same skill level as Brock Purdy. You could say Brock Purdy's got better anticipation, but Kenny Pickett's got like the talent and the upside.
I think I have to pull out my list again.
And they beat the Rams. Like the Rams are a sneaky good team, but like the Rams have flaws. Like that whole line is bad. Like, they had really no run game because Kyron Williams was out. And then they played Darrell Henderson, who like got off the street, who actually did play good, though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, waiver wire claim.
So, I mean, the Steelers beating the Rams isn't like this crazy thing.
They're both in that same tier of, like, mid to good. So, they'd beat each other. Like, you know, if they had a 7-game series, they'd go to 7, you know. One team was not going to sweep the other.
Yeah, I mean, even like the Seahawks, like on that fringe spot of the power rankings, they got the Browns next week at home.
That would be a good game.
So if they take out the Browns, then they could be in the Niners lose to the Bengals, and Seahawks are winning that division at that point.
Myles Garrett against that Seahawks O-line, though.
God.
Myles Garrett did everything he possibly could to win that game.
Yeah, he did. He was 2 forced fumbles, like
blocked punt,
3 sacks. He fucked the field goal.
Yeah.
Right, this might sound crazy, but like, does he have a case for MVP? Like,
no.
Sadly, no.
A defensive player will never win.
Because you can't like keep that up all season.
If he does, though,
it's just an offensive award.
It's an offensive.
If he scores 2 touchdowns, has like 23 and a half sacks and like 8 forced fumbles, like I don't know. There's no QB that's like really stood out to me as an MVP.
It's just gonna be Mahomes. Like give Mahomes like another 2.5 weeks, and he'll just have the award. If they have nobody to give
it to at the end, they'll just be like, "Oh, the Chiefs are 13-3."
I feel like they need to figure something out. Do like a non-QB MVP because it's just become a quarterback award at this point.
He'll just win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, but this isn't the same ring.
He's probably leading that right now.
It's probably him and TJ.
For sure.
Him and TJ are gonna be fighting for it.
Yeah, and I would give it to Myles Garrett right now. TJ Watt's very good though, but
TJ Watt just always somehow scores a touchdown every game. It's
those two and Bosa are just on another level.
Yes. Yeah. Like I don't know.
I think it's those 3. Maybe Micah if you want to put him in there too.
He's got the potential. He just hasn't been that this season. But if he turns up, he could definitely be in that conversation.
Another player MVP awards could be Lamar. If they keep on winning,
Lamar.
If he keeps it up.
He's been.
I mean, when you look
balling now,
he's the only quarterback I think that could be up there with Mahomes.
Bro, like
play-wise.
he just they just looked so. Everything just looked so easy for them.
38 points is
in that game.
Yeah, like that's a lot, especially against a good defense like the Lions.
The Lions seem to like both ways had it going.
Like this man Jared Goff had like like I think 5 yards at the end of the first quarter.
Or like he was not doing anything.
They could not they were down 28-0 before halftime.
Yeah.
And then I think they didn't get like 2 or 3 fourth downs and just kept giving them the ball back. Mm-hmm. And then they scored that stupid Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown that
screwed you in fantasy.
Well, I would have lost anyway. But that cut the lead to 35.
I will say, like, with how good, I'm just going to say because of how good David Montgomery's been playing this year, you don't have him, which he's been eating against everybody. But I don't think that changes a whole lot in this game.
I think the Ravens kind of just...
Jahmyr Gibbs had a good game.
Yeah.
That was just a game from the jump. They're like, okay, we're just going to beat the shit out of them.
Like, it seemed like for once, like, all season for the Ravens, the offense was just flowing. And the offense was just clicking on all cylinders for once because offensively they've been struggling. Defensively, they're always going to be stout.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just offensively they need to commit and, like, be on the same page because, like, the thing is, like, the Chiefs aren't like the Chiefs, like, this past, like, dynasty they've had. Like, they actually have a top 10 defense this year, top 5 arguably. So, like, you're going to need to put points up to beat the Chiefs. And, like, you're also going to have a good enough defense to stop them.
I need that Ravens-Chiefs.
I think, hopefully, I would love to see it because I had the Ravens having the wins they did. And they're hooping right now. And then, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, AFC's wide the fuck open. It might be the Chiefs, but who's going to be that second team? Because the Bills look sorry.
That's for anybody to grab.
Yeah, the Dolphins, they lost their hold on that number 2 spot.
And then the Bills, it looks sorry. Still, if the Bengals come out beat the Niners, I think the Bengals and the Ravens are coming for that number 2 spot for sure. But we still got to see what the Bengals look like. There's really no other, and I'm not ready to even, like, the Steelers, they keep just winning games. They're not good enough to have that top 2 spot with the Ravens up there, but...
The Steelers might lose by 30 to the Chiefs.
I don't know about all that, but I wouldn't want to play the Steelers in the playoffs.
That would just be a close game for no reason.
Like,
yes. It would,
that would be a Buckner field goal for the win.
Be like 24-19.
In Arrowhead? No.
It's just a game Patrick Mahomes plays like dog shit in.
Kenny Pickett would get murdered, bro. It'd be like a primetime game.
Steelers have a decent O-line, though, man.
It'd be a primetime game just because it's the Chiefs, and you have Kenny Pickett back out there with Arrowhead at night. No. They are not putting up more than 10 points.
The only thing I like...
They did just lose Nick Bolton for multiple months.
Whatever.
Sadly.
Drew Tranquil's in there then.
I will say about the Chiefs, like, every time I'm watching...
been one of the best linebackers in the league.
Travis Kelce's just always open.
Yeah.
Like, in the middle of the field, it's always open.
Hardman back.
Well, when every route you run is an option route, yeah, you're going to get open. Because even when he's supposed to run... a certain, like a hitch or something, he's like, if I'm not open, I'm just gonna run a flat.
Yeah. It's just crazy, like
the chemistry they have.
He was catching passes where like there's not a person like within 10 yards of him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, like
it's
looking at
he's
it.
so good at finding like the soft spot in the zone. Like that's why he had 12 catches. Like because he finds the soft spot, sits down.
It's hard to play zone against somebody like Patrick Mahomes who and like Travis Kelce like is just gonna sit down in a spot and then just wait to get the ball. And there's times where we're watching games and we're sitting there. I'm like, how is somebody not lighting Patrick Mahomes the fuck up here? And like nobody gets close to him at all. It seems like compared to other quarterbacks around the league.
They have a very strong O-line who they have been playing like lights out lately. Too.
Oh, they do. It's just Patrick Mahomes just always finds a way to get away from traffic.
Yeah, his pocket presence. I mean, that's what makes the QB like a good QB like great. Their ability to stay in the pocket and then like make those throws.
Does this win for the Ravens mean more for the Lions and their kind of loss, or doesn't this win mean more for the Ravens? Which side do you think it means more for?
I think it shows more like the Ravens what they can be. Like they can be dominant. Like the Lions are still young, and when they're missing their best offensive weapon, and they have a QB who's been consistent lately, but Jared Goff has a history of being inconsistent.
Who are they missing?
David Montgomery.
Oh. I think you're talking about a receiver.
Oh, no. They had him on Raw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, the Ravens, they just put together a dominant game. So I think it says more about the Ravens.
I think the Lions needed this. They needed to get smacked around.
A humbling experience.
Oh, yeah, because they were probably way up like on their... I mean, they lost to the Seahawks, but arguably they could have been undefeated going in that game. So, I mean, I think that they had all the hype and everything, and then... You go in and you play a team, you get smacked around, and then that's it. Like, you'd be like, wow, we just got our ass beat. be like, we should probably not do that again. So I think it means a lot for both teams. Like the Ravens needed a dominant win over someone, and then the Lions needed to get humbled. So, I mean,
Dan Campbell was spitting after the game.
Dan Campbell was like, they just beat our ass.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is.
I think I'm on the Ravens side. I think when you have a game where you can get your offense completely going like that, it's just going to be a snowball effect.
Yeah, I'm not on any side.
I think I'm going to go with the Lions because they do have a very easy schedule, and if you were to just win this game, they were going to think that they're the shit.
Yep.
I do think they really need to add another defensive lineman because it's just Aiden Hutchinson out there right now. So it didn't, getting your ass beat by giving up 38 points. I think that shows that you need another guy who's going to create some pressure because they were not really getting any besides Aiden Hutchinson at all.
Yeah, and the Ravens are a ground attack team too, so it shows that their rushing defense or their rush defense has a lot of holes in it.
And that was basically, that was one of the big stats the Lions were good at. Now, granted, they weren't playing a lot of good running backs, but before this, they were top 5 in rushing defense or something.
Yeah, they got exposed for sure.
And got exposed.
Kind of still talking about the Lions in the same division, but going into the Packers, because Jordan Love's starting to get a lot of question marks and everything else because they just dropped 3 in a row to the Lions, Raiders, and Broncos. So dropping 3 straight games after the first 2 or 3 games where you're looking at Jordan Love and be like, okay, obviously not Aaron Rodgers-esque, but
how many losses do they have? 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's lost to the Falcons, the Broncos, the Saints, and they beat the Saints.
Falcons, Raiders, Lions, and Broncos are the losses.
Fuck?
And their wins are the Bears and the Saints.
What does that tell you?
Trouble.
I will say most of those games they haven't had Jair Alexander or Aaron Jones or anything like that.
No, that ain't no excuse no more. Now, after the 3rd game that they lost without Aaron Jones, I was like, okay, this is what's going on. You got to adapt.
So you think the Packers look for a QB at some point, in the draft or something?
No.
Or you think Jordan Love's their guy?
But because they're not gonna just give up on him after 1 year.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
They're gonna be fine. I think he sucks. I don't like Jordan Love. I didn't like him when he got drafted. I thought it was a stupid move. But the way that NFL GMs work around is that you just don't drop a dude after 1 year because you have these players who have came in. I'm not going to give you any examples because I don't know any, but I know that some dude can have one bad season. He's going to turn into a fucking Hall of Famer. Peyton Manning held the fucking interception record his rookie year, or broke it, and then he became.
He still
a Hall of
has
Famer.
the rookie interception record, I think.
So then now he's him, and then I don't know. Aaron Rodgers didn't play good his first season, so I think people just got to give him time.
You think people are too quick week to week,
especially
to
nowadays.
under the bus?
With social media and everything, it's so bad.
I also think the Packers don't have the strongest receiving room. Yes, Christian Watson's a very good receiver, but his thing was more so he was just getting in the fucking end zone hella
I just don't know how people can could have convinced themselves coming into the season that they were going to be good. I don't think there's no way that team that they have around them is playoff caliber.
No,
it's not, and it's showing. You're losing to these fucking terrible teams like the Broncos and the Raiders and the Falcons. These are teams that you should be beating.
And on paper the Packers should be killing the Broncos and the Raiders with what they have.
People were all happy about this Packers defense was going to be super fucking good. Now you're losing to the Raiders and the Broncos, fucking bottom feeders of that division. Then you're losing to the Falcons, and then you look good in week 1 against the Bears. That's where it started. That's what was pissing me off. You shredded us.
Found the root of it here.
Good job, man. That's why everybody was like, yeah, Jordan Love's a future Hall of Famer. They went from one Hall of Fame to another Hall of Fame. What he done since? Nothing. And now you guys are tied with us in the division. Wow. Funny how that works.
Tap back into the kind of thing I said about quickly to give up week to week. NFL organizations and fans don't seem to be too patient nowadays.
No, not at all.
Because
they want to win now.
Yes, it's crazy how it's not just like this for Jordan Love and the Packers. It's really this for everybody.
People are just so fast to jump on people in any sport nowadays. If you just have one bad game, you're getting destroyed online, and then you'll come back and have one really good game, and then it's you're supposed to do that.
That's how it is for Josh Allen and Dak Prescott.
Exactly. Like I think Dak Prescott gets hella hate.
I think that's the more so why this kind of like stemmed in the back of my head to ask you. This is like because I'm always on the side that Dak Prescott gets way too much hate just because of the market he's in. Like a lot.
Yeah, it's like the Lakers.
90% of the QBs wouldn't be able to survive with playing for the Cowboys and how much hate that comes with. Same with playing for the Lakers. And like you saw what playing for the Lakers did to Russell Westbrook and that whole like just mental health in general because Westbrook has a bad game and it's like everything's on Russell Westbrook and you know how media works. Like they'll throw Russell Westbrook under the bus like AD didn't play like shit or like LeBron didn't play like shit. So it's all about throwing people under the bus. Like Cowboys lose, it's never on their defense.
No,
it's always on Dak Prescott.
Never on Mike McCarthy.
Never on the coaching and never on the receivers. It's only on Dak Prescott. Like he can play both sides of the ball and coach.
Yeah, like that's what I know. I've talked about in other episodes. Like that's the problem with. That's why QB is one of the hardest positions to play. Is because like you're gonna get the brunt of everything.
Yeah,
you're gonna get the brunt if you guys lose. You're gonna get the brunt if you guys win. Like it's hard. But going back to the Packers, like. I just think that they need to like they have a lot more offensive problems than Jordan Love right now. I think you have to go get a top receiver. You have to draft in because if they get a good pick, you have to drop one of those like top 5 receivers, or you have to go sign someone. Yeah. Like I don't know why they're so allergic to doing that. Because
outside of Christian Watson, who I don't even think is a true one.
I don't think he's a true one.
You don't really have anything yet.
He could be. He could be.
More time, maybe.
He's been hurt a couple of games, and I think that more time he'll be fine because this is only like his second year.
Second year,
yeah. He was a rookie last year. They're fine. Like and then that defense, you still got holes in it, but then they're also very young. I don't know. I just hated all the hype that they were getting in going into
I think they need more time than anything.
Yes, it's definitely a time. Like, but Packers fans they don't want to wait. They've been good for how long? So then they don't know how to be bad. They don't know what it's like.
They don't know how to be bad like us.
They don't. Yeah, I mean, like we've been shit for the past 5 years. Like, this is what it is.
They've been spoiled with their QBs. Exactly. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre.
And now your team sucks and you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I think the Packers, like, I don't know, fuck them. I love it. I want to see them worse than us.
That makes sense for our division.
I would piss if we finished with a better record than them.
But moving on to the Bills.
Well, first of all 3 of our teams won this week. Ain't that something?
And these are the games that the Patriots
win. Ain't that something? They can and Nick had a bye. And Nick just was on a bye.
Yeah.
That's a win. Didn't lose.
That's a win.
We did all win this week.
Hey, y'all see that catch Jaden Reed had, though?
Who?
For the Packers? Jaden Reed?
No.
I did not see that. No.
It bounced off Romeo Dobbs' hands in the end zone. And
for the touchdown, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good catch. I was just saying that Jordan Love looked extra shit because that was a really bad ball that should have been intercepted.
Mac Jones did not look like extra shit.
Mac and cheese.
Wait. Can we say
Pro Bowler
Mac Jones?
I apologize.
Say his full name, please.
Pro Bowler McCorkle Jones. He looked pretty good against the Bills, and the Bills have a pretty decent defense. So
Mac Jones was shit that whole game until the fourth quarter. And all of a sudden, he turned into Tom Brady.
He wasn't even shit the whole game. He played good. Like,
yeah,
you guys wouldn't have won if he didn't play bad.
I Pro Bowler Mac Jones. While he looked good, I think ultimately this game says a lot more about the Bills and their issues than it does with the Patriots and their potential, I guess, successes.
What do you guys deem as the number one problem for the Bills?
Probably starts with Josh Allen, right?
Turnovers. Think so?
I think it's always been turnovers. He's a turnover machine. He is like, you pull back the curtain on Josh Allen, Jay Cutler.
Oh, I don't really.
Hella yards, throw it rocket of an arm. He's got the number one.
Talking Denver, Jay Cutler?
I'm talking Bears prime Jay Cutler. Just throwing interceptions like it's going out of style. And these are his fault. Like I've said it before, these interceptions are his fault. I don't know what he sees. First play of the game, what are we doing?
First play of the game was straight to the
First
defense.
play of the game.
It was a dot, though.
Like, oh my God, I don't know. Josh Allen I want to like Josh Allen so bad, but he just makes it so hard. Like, and then Stephon Diggs just gets mad and throws tablets and shit, and yeah.
I think looking at them as a team, it's obviously a lot is going to be on Josh Allen because he's the quarterback of the team. I also don't think they're creative enough in their play calling to where, like, you just expect with the Bills, you know what they're going to do. He's going to force feed Stephon Diggs, and if they don't have the running game and you are able to stop Stephon Diggs, you're just going to win the game.
It's just so weird. Like, their defense is getting torched, like, by these teams like that. There was no reason that Mac Jones should have drove all the way downfield and got the game-winning touchdown.
Their defense is very hurt.
Very weird. It's hurt, weird, slow, old. Mm-hmm. Like, Von Miller's not really doing anything now that he's back. Like,
maybe they're better on paper than they actually are.
Super good paper team. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
Nick, what would you say is the main problem with the Bills?
Josh Allen injuries and just the lack of run game. I don't know why they won't commit to James Cook, but
he had 13 carries, but he only had 56 yards, no touchdowns. I don't know if he's the kind of guy you give 25 plus carries to.
I think he is over Latavius Murray.
Latavius Murray had 4 carries for 8 yards.
I know, just in general, like they do it. You look back at other games too. He just gets close to the amount of snaps that James Cook does. James Cook is way better of an athlete than him.
Yeah, I think Josh Allen having 41 pass attempts is huge too. They throw the ball a lot. Josh Allen also had 7 carries. He's a big part of their run game.
The Bills are a type of team because we've heard, like, not this year, but possibly in the offseason of, like, a Derrick Henry possible trade. Like, they would go trade for Derrick Henry when they have other problems with their roster. Like, because James Cook is good and serviceable for them.
Yes, James Cook is a very good, like, starting running back for them.
They would go make a big-time trade like that for Derrick Henry rather than fix some of the other shit that's wrong with their roster.
Yeah,
that's what they would do.
Defensive holds, Derrick Henry.
Their O-line's been playing really bad. Like, I don't know, I feel like he was just getting pressured a lot in that game, and there was no answer. He got out of the pocket a lot, he got sacked. And
they've just had some really...
I feel like he's, like, not even using his tight ends, like, as much now. I feel like Dawson Knox really isn't getting as much, like, love as he should be. Gabe Davis hasn't done, like,
he had
really a whole lot.
Good game against the Dolphins.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Very weird.
They'll have a touchdown, like, every other game. Besides that, do nothing.
What was the former Bengals? Is it Leo Collins?
Yeah.
I think he hasn't signed with anyone yet, has he?
I don't think so.
The Bills, I mean, they have some offensive line problems, and you install a guy like Leo Collins who's healthy, so he says, and potentially plays well. That fixes their run game. That lets Josh Allen have a bit more time to be patient, so he's not as panicked. Maybe he turns the ball over less. I think you're on something with improving their O-line, especially with the trade deadline coming up. They might need to make a move here.
Yeah, I still think another receiver would help them. I just don't. I think whoever you bring in there, it's just he's only really thrown to Stephon Diggs anyways. Like, he will not. Like, I have Gabe Davis in multiple leagues in fantasy, just on my bench, and, like, if I put him in, like, it's either he's gonna hit, like, a touchdown or two,
or he's
gonna be fine, or he's just not even gonna get looked at. When they played,
it's weird, man.
And the Bills have had bad losses. Like you beat the Dolphins when the Dolphins were at their peak of their powers, and then you lose to the Jets. You drop one against the Patriots.
Jags. You
should have lost to the fucking Giants. So, like, they've had some very ugly losses that they definitely should be taking care of these teams. But turnovers can do that to you. But we can talk about the Bears for a second.
Hey.
Yeah, they got the dub.
A win doesn't happen too much for y'all.
Back in the W column. I don't know. It only took us for it to play a backup quarterback, and Devontae Adams basically getting shut the fuck down as much as we could. And I don't know. The Raiders are just poverty, and the Raiders couldn't get anything going. I mean, I don't understand why Brian Hoyer was playing. I really don't. If you're going to start Aiden O'Connell against Chargers, why the fuck are we not starting him against the Bears?
Because they didn't like what they saw.
I guess not. Something in the filling room said Brian Hoyer today. So Brian Hoyer plays like shit. Shocker. Throws a pick six. Defense looked stout. Defense looked good. Jalen Johnson, we have to pay him. He had 2 picks. One of the pick six he had, and he was doing the money celebration in front of the camera. So I think we're gonna maybe sign him. It'll be him and Mooney are the 2 big guys.
Mm-hmm.
You used the word backup to describe Tice. How do you say his last name?
Bagnet.
You used the word backup. Would you consider him the backup at this point, or do you think it's
he's
his
still
job?
the backup for now? I mean,
there's a couple weeks.
Now Sunday,
Justin Fields going to be out for a couple weeks.
I think he'll only be out.
Who do y'all play Sunday?
Game, the Chargers.
Sunday
night.
Hypothetically, y'all beat the Chargers.
Let's say we win.
Yeah.
Do we win in dominant fashion?
It's
or do we just win? Do we just win?
You win in Chargers fashion of losing a game.
Yeah,
okay, so Herbert, we just win somehow.
Yeah, Herbert has the ball on like the 20-yard line, 2 minutes left, and he comes up short as usual.
If
something like
he
that.
looks serviceable, like that's the scary part. Because I've talked about this on the pod before. Like this revolving door that happens. Like we get the guy,
with the running backs and
the quarterbacks. Yeah. It's like we get the guy. He's good for a little bit. Something happens. Backup comes in. Now he's going to be good for a little bit. It's exactly what happened to Mitch. It's what's happening to Fields. And then now it's Tyson Bagnet. So, I don't know. He had like 180 something for a touchdown. I mean, it helps a lot that we were able to run the ball so fucking well. Deontay Foreman is the MVP of that game.
Yeah.
He was eating. I'm so glad that they actually just played him. Because they were starting Evans for a little bit, and I was like, why are we doing that? That doesn't make any sense.
He's MVP in my fantasy bench, too.
Yeah, but I think Roshan will probably come back next week, whether they want to start him or not, I don't know. But I think they should probably just ride with Foreman right now, because Herbert's still on IR.
Mm-hmm. A 3-week concussion is a little scary.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I hope he comes back. Weird. But, I mean, everybody was getting looks. It's just he looked not scared. Like, he kind of knew what he was doing. Like, the O-line looked good. We shut Max Crosby down basically the whole game. He didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And then...
Not easy to do.
I mean, we had 3 interceptions as a team, I'm pretty sure. And then, I don't know, we just scored. we were just able to... It was crazy. Like, I was watching, like, 12-play, 5-minute drive go down to a touchdown. Like, we don't see that. Yeah. That's weird. So...
God
forbid he beats the Chargers on Sunday night in front of prime time. Like, I don't know, Tyson bought 60 tickets to that game for family and friends.
Yeah, I think it was 65.
Yeah, and he came out and won, which was super cool. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to go into the Chargers game obviously ready to lose.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll put up a fight maybe because it's prime time. Anything can happen any given Sunday. Whatever.
But like we said, how quick people are ready to write somebody off week to week.
Oh my God!
It's still
Bears
Justin
Twitter.
Fields. It's still Justin Fields. Let's not get carried away.
Bears Facebook, all that shit. These old heads, like they're all like, "All right, Fields is done. Like that's it."
Well, he was already on thin ice to begin with.
Yeah, but I think it's still his team. He's chilling.
But let's not act like Bagnet beating a bad Raiders team. Now, if he goes and beats the Chargers, even then, I'm still like, Fields is still the guy. Like,
I mean, I think he'll come back and he'll be fine. I think like we play this next stretch of games like is kind of easy. Mm-hmm. I mean, Chargers are our hardest game for a minute because then we play the Saints and then we play the Panthers. Okay. So and then I think we go on a bye. But I think I don't know. I just walk into every game with my shoulders shrugged, and if we win, we win. Like if we don't, damn, our draft pick gets even better.
But I mean, pretty quiet week for the most part. A couple of upsets, like betting wise, because the Rams were favored against the Steelers.
A lot of favorites lost.
Yes, a ton of favorites lost.
Yeah, I think the biggest loss got to be the 49ers.
The biggest loss was the Monday night game, the 49ers. We can get into that because I was going into this game. I remember like 3 weeks ago, we were looking at the schedules for the Vikings after we lost to... I forgot who we lost to.
Was it the Chargers?
Yes, it was the Chargers, and we were looking at their next stretch of games, and there was the Chiefs.
Because it was Chiefs, Eagles, right?
No, we already played the Eagles at that point. It was Chiefs, Bears, Niners.
Yeah.
And then we're already marking up the Chiefs.
We said you were going to have one win, and it was going to be us.
Yeah.
And then, so you get a surprise win.
2-1.
And it's crazy, because, like, just looking at, like, Vikings Twitter and everything else on social media and everything else, like, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about how the Vikings are better this year, team-wise, than they were last year. Because when you're looking at when you're looking at the games, like their argument was when you're looking at games against other top teams that we played last year, like we got smoked against the Eagles. The Cowboys game wasn't even a game, and then you're looking at it this year with how our defense is this year. When we played the Eagles, had a chance to beat the Eagles, and then we lose that one, close one. And then have a real chance to beat the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just always the same thing. Like, it's just you guys... The reason you guys won so many games last year is because you were able to close and win the close games. Mm-hmm. Now you're not doing that.
Yeah.
So you're going to drop the games. I don't know. The Vikings... The stretch that you guys got coming up is going to be interesting. Because you guys should be able to pull at least 3 wins.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys play like the Panthers, the Saints. Like...
Yeah, I'll pull over.
The Falcons or something. Like, you basically have the NFC South.
So, our next hard game against a top tier competitive team, depending on where they are at this time of the year. So it's December 17th.
Okay.
So we play the Bengals in Cincy, December 17th. Before then, we have a chance to really be
This is your stretch.
We have a real chance to be 9-4 by the time we play them. We have, because we just beat the Niners. We're won our last 2.
So what do you? 3-4 now.
Yeah, we're the Packers on the road in Lambeau. Very winnable game, even on a short week. Then we got 2 road games. Got the Falcons, the Saints at home.
Okay.
The Broncos on the road. The Bears at home. Then the Raiders. There should be no shot where
you're gonna drop one of them or 2. You guys gotta assume you'll drop 1 or 2 of them.
I think if we're in a good spot if we go into Cincinnati basically before Christmas.
Realistically, you could lose to the Packers in Lambeau. I know we were talking about because it's a division game and I don't know, your division opponents play you the hardest. So I think that could be a very interesting game.
Well, right now I think the Vikings would be a playoff. Oh no, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't. They'd be the first out.
The Rams haven't beat by 4 points.
Yeah,
but it's close, and like you said, if they string together those wins over the stretch.
Well, you guys are gonna beat the Panthers. You're gonna beat us. Not the Panthers. I mean, you're supposed to beat the Falcons.
We're supposed to beat the Broncos, Bears, Raiders.
Yes, those are teams you're supposed to win. And then it's the Saints and the Packers games that'll be sus.
Those are winnable though.
Oh yeah, but you got to assume that there's no way they're just gonna go on a 6-game winning streak.
If they do, they'll be 9-4 by the time they have to go play the Bengals.
I'm not gonna believe that.
I think best case scenario we're 8-5. And at some point, we get Jefferson back during the stretch.
Best case scenario, you're 9-4. Worst case, you're 6-6 or 6-7.
Yeah.
Kirko, he's been around the block a few times. I don't think it's that crazy to think the Vikings win 6 games against a bunch of subpar teams.
You guys will fuck up somewhere.
I think by the time
there will be a bump in the road somewhere.
My prediction is we're 8-5.
Yeah.
By the time we have to go play the Bengals,
I'm gonna say you'll be 7-6.
I think 8-5. I like it.
And then our last 4 are Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions.
Fuck. See, there's even some more losses.
Well, those 2 against the Lions, though, if you split, that's huge. You win both, even if it's just 2 against the Lions. That's big for the tiebreaker.
It depends on where the Lions are at in the division at that point.
Because the Lions have a very easy schedule.
Yeah. So if the Lions are especially that last game, it's fuck it. We already have our shit. We're ready. We have the bye or whatever. I'm not sending any starters out there.
Yeah.
So unless they just say fuck y'all and they want to play starters just to knock y'all out.
It will help because we will get Jefferson back. I want to say I think it was week 10 or 11 or 12 somewhere in that span when he got put on IR. So we'll get Jefferson back at some point.
So IR is 4 weeks. So
it's already been 2.
It's already been 2. So he's got 2 more weeks on IR. And then I'm guessing he's going to come back.
So we got Packers, then Falcons, and then the Saints game. He'll be back. So
Saints
at
game,
home.
He should come back.
Yeah.
Thank God. I need him in fantasy.
But, I mean, just watching the game yesterday, I had to rewatch the whole fucking first half today.
Yeah.
Because I was at work and I only came for the second half. But it was like watching a completely different team.
It's weird. I don't understand.
We were like I've said on the pod before, we have the weapons on offense, even without Justin Jefferson. We have the receiver room. The only thing we don't have is the run game.
KJ Osborne. Had me.
We have everything to, move the fucking ball. Position-wise, skill position-wise, we have, a top-tier offense in the league. It's just, sometimes it's the play calling, it's the inconsistency with our offense in general. But, against the Niners defense, who was a top 3, arguable top 1 in the league, we were moving the ball. We had no problem.
Oh, you guys were getting first downs it was going out of style. You just, there was no, no one was scared. It was all right, the Vikings just aren't gonna get this first down. Even the long ones, you guys would get a 2nd and 12 or a 3rd and 9 or something and you just pick it up easily.
Credit to the O-line, 0 sacks on Kirk Cousins.
O-line looked great.
That was when Dalton Risner played for Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. So. I don't know how the fuck Kirk Cousins is gonna get sacked on that one play at the end of the game.
He looked very. And after the pick, he was just fine. He looked very. This is probably the most.
The pick actually could have not happened.
Yeah,
because Addison
it's not his fault. It got taken out of fucking Addison's hand.
Addison got kind of bitched on it just to get it ripped out of his hand.
That, you can't really put that on Kirk.
And then he gets it.
And
back.
then he gets it right back. For the
that's such a funny dynamic.
Gets the touchdown at the end of the half. So I think I don't know. Edward Addison's super good. He's playing really good. I thought he was going to be a bust. I thought there was no point for y'all to draft him.
Did
he get hurt?
He hurt his ankle. It was cramping. He came back.
Him and
TJ went down like 3 times.
The first one was fake.
Yeah, it was fake as fuck. Because I don't know if it was like it didn't make any sense because they were first and goal.
Kevin O'Connell was like,
unless he just didn't want to
sideline telling him to go down.
I'm guessing he just didn't want to waste a timeout on something. Like maybe the clock was getting low.
What you're supposed to do, if you're hurt, regardless of what it is,
just go down.
Yeah, you're just supposed to go down.
So I think cramping was big last night. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think you guys
they dominated time of possession too. Yeah, over 10 more minutes than the Niners. That's big.
TJ feasted last night. Yeah. I mean, everything was looking good.
I think it was. We just looked a lot more creative in the play calling, and like we were being really aggressive offensively, which is something that we have. Like we should be doing this.
You were making their defense work.
This is something we should be doing with Justin Jefferson. Like you have Jordan Addison who's arrived. KJ Osborne's no slouch at year 3. You got TJ Hawkinson who was this game like really like showed his worth in his contract and played up to it. I feel like the first time this season, even though his stats look good,
he had like 8 catches, like for 60 something or 90 yards.
He had 11.
Holy shit!
And then you have Jefferson coming back. Like you should always look to play aggressive with this offense. Yeah. And the only thing that changes is the inconsistency, how up and down the team is. You can't beat the Niners handedly like the Browns just did and then go lose to a subpar team like the Browns just did in the Colts. You can't go and the Lambeau short week. You just beat the Niners, best team in football. You're
gonna go lose to the Packers.
You can't lose the momentum in Lambeau and lose to a team that you should really handle. Honestly, at this point in the season. So you got to keep the momentum going.
It'll be super interesting how that game works because Jair is going to be on Addison, and he's probably going to be shadowing him, or he should. Yeah. At least. And then it'll really be like a TJ show. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
And I really think that when you have TJ going, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some drop passes, but I mean.
Yeah, and then I really like what we were doing yesterday. I feel like we were getting all 3 of our running backs involved, like Ty Chandler
was playing,
and then fucking Alexander Madison. Like we were getting all of them fucking involved, and like we were just super aggressive. If we did this, like I'm not saying we're gonna play like that good every game, but like if we have the mindset to be aggressive every game offensively, we should go kill the fucking Packers if we play aggressive on offense, because we know, like, with our defense and how much we blitz, Jordan Love's going to give that bitch to us multiple times if we blitz like that. Even Brock Purdy has come back down to earth the past 2 weeks.
And Bynum, like, coming out game.
Yes.
Him finally, like, being like, okay, I'm the safety. Like, I'm the other safety. Is he corner or safety, or both?
He's a safety.
Yeah, I think him playing next to Harrison Smith, he's doing really good.
And then, like, Danielle Hunter's just a dog, and it's our scheme. Like they even showed the graphic of the game where we blitzed 57%.
Yeah. And then the next highest was 37.
Yeah, and I think it was like the Browns and the Patriots.
Patriots are up there, and the Dolphins.
It's stout defense.
And like that's all we really needed was our defense to get middle of the pack, and that shows how a great Brian Flores is. You really got to credit him for the win, for making that Niners offense work for it. No Debo and no Trent Williams.
Is big.
But that's huge for them. But even then, you're like, this Niners, nobody thought, even with them 2 being out, the spread was 7.
Yeah, well, I mean, Justin Jefferson. So.
Ayuk got shut down in the second half. I don't even know if he caught a pass in the second half.
Flores or DC?
Yeah.
Damn. That's nice.
And then, Kittle had a day. And then CMC had the fumble, got in the end zone, though. And
twice.
It's just, we're starting to see, because Brock Purdy, the whole argument that we had a couple weeks ago. Like, we're starting to see...
The first one was bad. I don't know what he was looking at. And then the second one was him...
He threw it way too early.
I don't know. It's like he didn't... Like, he was trying to make a play just because they were losing. No timeouts. Like, he stepped up in the pocket. Like, I don't know. He was just trying to force one in. I understand what he was doing.
With how much we blitz, most teams can handle it. And you're going to get burned on a blitz sometimes, but, like... When you're doing it the whole fucking game...
Dude, he almost screwed me last night with that parlay. Yes, oh my God. I was ready to be off the Brock Purdy train if that would have happened. I would have flipped. I would have done a complete fucking 180 because I needed one completion from this motherfucker, and he threw that. He threw the pick, and then it looked like the Vikings weren't gonna give them the ball back, and I was like, wow. This is really how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And then they got it back, and he got one. He got two, and then threw another pick.
Beautiful.
And then it's crazy because, like we said, week to week, the narrative is always gonna change, and like you see, like any like sports place talk about the Brock Purdy game, and they post the stats, and Brock Purdy tried to put his team in position to win these past 2 weeks, and it's different when you play from behind.
He did put his team in position the first time.
Yes.
That second time, he didn't.
And then you're looking at it. Oh, the BD is going to eat him up, eat all this up about him playing bad and everything else. Like, had 2 bad games. I feel like we had to, like, realize that Brock Purdy wasn't elite.
No, he was never. He's never been elite. He's never been elite. Elite is crazy.
It's different when you have to play from behind, and the Niners have only had to do this twice this year in the past 2 weeks, and they've lost both of these games.
I've said it, Brock Purdy is an upper mid quarterback. He is upper mid. He is like B territory quarterback.
Because he makes good plays.
Yes. And then I'm not going to blame the Browns game on him because you had a shit game. You're playing basically the best defense in the league. Mm-hmm. I get it. No, Debo gets hurt. Trent gets hurt. You lose them in the game. Then you go down and put your team in position to win. He did all he could to put his team in position to win. And then your kicker just misses and you fucking lose it. But the Vikings game, that's all on him. Those 2 interceptions were bad. You couldn't move the ball. Brandon Ayuk got shut down and he had nowhere else to go. Mm-hmm. Kittle was trying. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Brock Purdy's never been an elite quarterback. And if you're saying that, you're just a 49ers meat writer.
I just think it's very interesting to see because now they're putting it. Teams are realizing like if we can get it to the point where like Brock Purdy has to go win this game, not a CMC. Mm-hmm. Now like they can just hand this ball off and CMC goes and get you a first down to win. Like they're making Brock Purdy win games.
Well, yeah, you guys held them to they had three possessions in the first half.
Yeah,
and one was a fumble, a touchdown, and a missed field goal. So that's crazy. I mean, I'm on the rhetoric that we should have 20-minute quarters.
20-minute quarters.
I think a team having like 1 possession in the first quarter is fucking crazy.
I mean,
I think the game should just be longer. That's all I'm saying. It's also just me being a fan of football.
Yeah.
And I want to see more. But yeah, me seeing the 49ers have 3 possessions in the first half is a little sus. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. I mean, but to wrap this conversation up, I mean, impressive one for the Vikings because,
Definitely.
I mean, this is not like a casual Vikings win where, like, the other team just fucked up and they got lucky with a win. They went out there and, like, dominated the second half and, like, really handled the Niners for the most part. And then for Brock Purdy, we're not going to have any conversations unless they lose next week.
If they lose next week, we're going to be on this pod like, okay, what do we do?
What's next?
What do the 49ers do?
Is it really this Niners in the wild card and the Seahawks winning the division type shit? Because they got the Bengals off the bye, and they probably won't have Debo. I don't know about Trent Williams' status, but it's going to be very interesting because, I mean, you're giving Joe Burrow and this Cincinnati Bengals team 2 weeks to prepare for you. Mm-hmm. Even though you're going back home, it's still going to be... I think this is a must-win game for the Niners. Must-win.
They have to.
They have to win. I mean, at this point, you need to win because you've lost 2 in a row, and people are really starting to doubt you, your QB, your whole team. Losing 3 in a row, that's huge.
You blow out the Cowboys and drop 3 straight.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But that's all we really have for this week's episode. You guys want to wrap it up there?
Sure. Good.
Thank you guys for tuning into the Barrel Talk podcast. Hope to see you soon in the future episodes.
Go Bears.
Bear down.